everyone, I'm back. So, here's another one of the books. The Compendium of Magical Beasts, an anatomical study of cryptozoology's most elusive beings. We've got to keep looking. We've got to keep trying to find answers to what's happening. We can't be idle. Because if we have an idea of what's happening, then maybe we can predict what's to come. So, let's keep looking for clues, I guess. Let's see. I say we just dive right in. Let's just get to the creatures. We know it's not a unicorn, although I haven't even really seen it, but I can tell from the shape underneath the blanket that there's no horn coming out of its head. I don't know if it's a mermaid or not. I did find it in a body of water. From the mythology that I already know about mermaids. It just doesn't seem right, but we can explore it anyways. That's page 13. Let's see. No, not the unicorn. There. The mermaid. Only blinks when above water. I wouldn't know. I haven't been that close to its face yet. Or any of it for that matter. I don't know if it has gills. Tropical saltwater variations are more flashy than freshwater. Okay, so freshwater is an option. That's interesting. And this is 𝘠𝕚𝕚𝕚. The mermaid can be found in oceans and rivers throughout the world. Let's see. Beautiful maidens beneath the waves. The history goes all the way back to Assyria. The goddess is said to transform into a mermaid after she accidentally caused the death of her human lover. She doesn't match the image of the mermaids that we have today. She was represented as a fish with a human head and arms, but that's not what we've got. Scientific hypotheses about mermaids go back to 546 BC, when a Milesian philosopher, 𝔻𝕟𝕚𝕚 proposed an early theory of evolution that supposed humans had evolved from water-based species. That explained how humans survived so long in the womb. The historical accounts of mermaids have been passed down as legend, not as fact. We know this as well because we haven't really found any evidence, any hard evidence of them ever having existed. Likewise, sightings by such figures as Christopher Columbus and other explorers have been explained away as glimpses of dugongs and manatees. I don't think that this thing has any hair. The top half is human, but so is the bottom half. And you've got Hans Christian Andersen and their version of mermaids. Oh, that's interesting. China, the Philippines, Japan, India, Persia, many countries of Africa, the Caribbean, and pre-colonial America also have stories of humans and human-like creatures who dwell in water. See, that's the problem, though. The problem is that not all of them are being found in water. They're being found in alleys. They're being found in forests, dry forests. They're being found in desert-like regions. Everywhere. I don't think this is right. They're definitely not harpies. I haven't seen or heard of any reports of them having wings. Actual mermaids might enjoy singing. From an anatomical perspective, their vocal cords are nearly the same as humans. Therefore, mermaids are just as prone to having bad singing voices as anybody else. And their voices don't possess magical powers. They just sing because it's what they like to do. Okay. Reproduction. Fish and human characteristics. I just don't think this is it. The wild man. From what I've heard, they're all naked. All of them have no fur. The skin is kind of human, kind of not. It's kind of thick, sort of rubbery. I don't think it's a wild man, or I guess it would be like a Sasquatch type creature. It doesn't seem right either. Let's see. The gnome, werewolf, troll, fairy. I guess we could check those 4. Who knows, right? We'll start with the gnome, 27. Oh God. It's definitely not that. Let's see. So, hands are short-fingered and webbed, tipped with sharp, dense nails to aid in shoveling dirt as they tunnel. I'm pretty sure I saw sharp, long nails on my creature, and I think it's been reported that they have long claws. But I haven't heard anything about webbing on the hands. Definitely, they don't have short, stout limbs, allowing them to travel on all 4s, moving through tight spaces and tunnel systems. What else do we have up here? Sharp teeth to aid in eating a variety of animals and plants. I don't know, I haven't seen its mouth yet. Eyes have a pronounced tapetum, lucidum, to help them see below ground, but results in a sensitivity to sunlight. That's interesting. I haven't seen its eyes, but it's gone in the daylight and it's always in the dark. That's really interesting. And this last bit, they're omnivores, so they'll eat anything that they can find below ground, such as worms, mice, and root vegetables. I don't know. They're not short and stout. That's the main thing. But it does say down here, the gnome may be found living near human farms. Because of the fruits and vegetables, I guess. And all of the mice and rodents and everything else that's attracted to the vegetables. That makes sense. But that's not where these creatures are being found. I mean, maybe some of them are, but they're not exclusively being found on farms. Today, of course, we recognize gnomes, not as magical elements, but rather as members of real tangible species that inhabit the ground beneath our feet. Well, you know, that's interesting too, because we still don't know where these creatures came from. We don't know if they're emerging from below the surface of the earth, or if they're aliens and they've come from another planet and they've just suddenly arrived everywhere. Though hardly beautiful and indeed quite unsettling at first glance, gnomes are fascinating subterranean species. I don't know. This doesn't feel right either. Okay, let's get into the appearance. That might give us a bit more clarity, right? Upon first glance, they might look similar enough to a human to pass for a baby or a very small child. Definitely not. These things are adult size. They're life size. You can't mistake them for kids. Not at all. I'm curious to learn more about gnomes, but I don't think that they're related to what's going on right now. Okay, let's get back to it. There's gonna be more. I still don't know anything about it, which is why I think we might have to revisit these books again once I learn more, once I can actually be confident enough to interact with it. The behavior, we still don't know what the behavior is. It's still early days. The werewolf. Let's check out the diagram first. So, they possess keen senses, some ability of which carries into their human form, so shapeshifter. Oh, werewolves are Homo sapiens who inherited the lycanthropy mutation. During transformation, all internal systems and bone structures shift from human to wolf. Okay. The human forms tend to be large in frame. I mean, the one that I've got is sort of normal human size. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I haven't heard of any reports of them being excessively large or unusually small. Their sizes must differ in different parts of the world though, right? As they change, their body mass changes and they gain or lose weight, baffling scientists as to where it comes from or goes. Signs of incoming transformation include aching muscles, increased hair growth, and craving for raw meat. I don't know. I don't know what it eats yet. And again, I don't think they've got any hair. No one said anything. I haven't seen it in the news. The scientists, the biologists, they haven't said anything about hair either. So, rumors of their violent nature, magic powers, inherent thirst for human blood are absurd. If lycanthropy were spread by bites, and werewolves couldn't resist the urge to bite, humans without the condition would have easily been wiped from existence by this point, either by being converted or devoured. I cannot stress this enough. Those with lycanthropy are human. I wonder if that full moon thing is true. There's a full moon coming up next week. I wonder if that's something that I need to be worried about. Because of the fear of witches and other supernatural creatures, reports of werewolves were greatly increased during the Middle Ages. Werewolves today are generally believed to be delusional humans. Hirsutism, hypertrichosis. The fur is just not a thing. These creatures don't have fur, they just have weird, fleshy, rubbery skin and nothing else. Let's explore contraction. It's not a virus. It can't spread by anything other than reproduction. That's interesting. Legends abound that it's spread by bite or other strange superstitions, including but not limited to satanic allegiance, sleeping outside under a full moon on a particular Wednesday, or drinking water from the paw print of a wolf. The only proven method of contracting the condition is to be born with it. Well, I have no idea what I'm doing, what I have, or what's happening around the world, but this is strangely reassuring, because obviously I don't have it. Both parents must carry the trait. They may not exhibit it. A werewolf child can be quite a surprise for parents who don't know they have a recessive lycanthropic gene. Okay. If they haven't eaten you yet, they clearly have no interest in doing so. Except when they are wolves. Transformation. The moon situation. Let's look into that too. The thing about our creature is that I don't know if it transforms. Clearly it can leave, it can disappear. I don't know where it goes. I wonder if it's an interdimensional creature. And so when it disappears from my place during the day, like right now, if it's off this planet and somewhere else, or if it's just somewhere else in this building or somewhere else in this world, I don't know. Something's happening to it to enable it to disappear. And it is a tangible thing because I carried it, but is it transforming into something else? Another creature? I don't know. Oh. So once the process of transformation has begun, it can't be reversed. I wonder if, when it's becoming dawn in the mornings, does my creature begin to transform? Could I stop it from transforming and keep it here so that it didn't disappear? I don't know. It says here for the werewolves, the process seems to be triggered by an abundance of hormones that build up over the course of the month. The hormones cause other changes in the body, a higher than average body temperature, meat cravings, salivation, hair growth, aching muscles, I don't know. I don't think this is it either. It's just... Well, biologists are saying that these creatures are somehow some kind of human something hybrid. So let's see, human and wolf characteristics. For most of the month, it's impossible to tell a difference between a human and a human with lycanthropy. They have larger than average frames, but the difference is slight. Slight enough that it's difficult to tell whether it's lycanthropy or some other variable. So physically, the naked eye can't perceive the difference. Werewolves are notoriously and rightfully secretive, but autopsies of deceased individuals, which is what the biologists have been doing with the ones that have been killed, these ones of the werewolves have revealed that the internal organs perfectly match those of the species whose form they're in at the moment of death. That's really interesting too. Human form lycanthropes have human form lycanthropes have human organs, and wolf form lycanthropes have wolf organs. This book is really, really interesting, but so far I don't think. The troll. Giants and forest-dwelling humanoids. The true troll is found only in Northern Europe. These are being found, well, our creatures are being found all over the planet right now. They use moss draped over their bodies to blend into the forest. Sometimes display insects and flowers on their body to attract a mate. It's pretty cute. Forest-dwelling, pebbly brown or gray skin with a green tint. Cave and hill trolls. Trolls are on average 7 to 8 feet tall, with cave-dwelling trolls trending smaller and mountain trolls trending larger. It says it's bipedal with a sloping skeletal structure similar to an ape's. We haven't seen them walk yet. They've just been sort of crumpled up into balls on the ground. That's how everyone's finding them. With a reputation of isolation and dangerous man-eating tendencies, they were real and present threats. And they were known for kidnapping or taking over entire farms that they saw as encroaching on their territory. Forest-dwelling trolls are the smallest variant. Wonder how small is small. Right. So their physical appearance changes depending on their environment. But it sounds like, from the information we've just learned from the news and from what's being shared online, all of these creatures that we've found so far are all the same. They all kind of look the same. They're in the same state, regardless of the environment that they're in. I don't know. I don't think this is it either. The fairy. Now, I always figured that fairies were tiny little creatures. I'm assuming they are. I mean, this one's riding a bird. This one's underneath a toadstool. Although I don't know if that's just from the stories we've read about them. Head appears proportionally larger, theorized to be related to their ability to access and wield magic. All species use magic known as glamour to appear pleasing to the human eye. So that must mean that when we see them, they look completely different from what they actually are. They're known for their pointed ears. They have many sharp teeth hidden behind glamour, so they hide their teeth when they're putting on their face for humans. The skin tends to be blue or green, used for camouflage before the development of magic. Contrary to popular belief, no Phaeus species has wings, although they ride flying creatures thanks to their light bones. Phaeus pixius, the common pixie, is one of the most recognizable fairy species. So that's interesting. They don't actually have wings at all. So they have light bones, and they're able to ride winged species, so they have to be small and they have to be light. They're prone to mischief and even malevolence. There are stories of fairies and fairy-like creatures from all around the world, but we only really focus on the European fairies. I encourage you to consult those cultures and their writings for the other versions of the fairies. Magical abilities. Let's see if there's anything in here about them shape-shifting. Fairies have the ability to change their appearance, create phantom sounds, or make one object appear to the senses as another. So they can't magically kill people or otherwise harm them, but they can lure you into unsafe situations. It's likely from here we draw connections between fairies and spirits of the dead because these behaviors mimic our perceptions of poltergeists and demons. Unlike poltergeists and demons, however, fairies are quite easily avoided. Fairy gatherings leave behind markers like the famous fairy ring. Let's see about the anatomy. Nor do they appear as perfect miniature humans, though some are distinctly human in appearance. This is more likely thanks to glamour than genetics. Glamour being magic defined by illusion. Necropsies of dead fairies reveal that glamour fades upon death just as magic does from a unicorn's horn. Dead fairies are less attractive, at least to human eyes, than their living brethren. And nobody knows why fairies make themselves more attractive to humans. It's a mystery. Well, the more that I learn about our creatures that we have, the more I'll be able to understand if what I'm seeing of them is their natural form, or if they're stuck between two forms, or if they're in the middle of a transformation into another form. Once they gain strength, they might change. Possibly. What's that? Fairies are small enough to live among the flowers. Definitely not what we have. Okay, so no jackalopes. No winged horses. No centaurs. Of course I want to read about all of these, but we're on a mission. No minotaurs. Vampire. Huh. It's almost dark outside now. It's going to be here soon. I have to get into the bathroom and lock the door. I hate to rush through this, but let's just see if there are any other ones that we need to look through aside from the vampire. There's a dragon. It's not that. I don't think it's a sea monster because I didn't find it in the sea. The goblins, the phoenix, the sphinx, the harpy. They don't have wings. The banshee, the incubus, the nymph, the ghoul. Oh, there's so many more to go through. I can't wait anymore. It's going to be here soon and I just can't be just casually in my place when it shows up. I need to either get into the bathroom and lock the door for the night or see if I can hang out at a friend's place. I guess it's going to be a 2-part video. I think it'll help. I think we will get somewhere. Something has to have an answer. Thanks for doing this with me. We'll figure it out together.